All right, guys, welcome back to today's lesson. I hope everyone is doing well. So today we just answer these questions that are coming from the what? From the human heart. So the first question is saying the following diagram shows a human heart. Which blood vessel is a vein carrying oxygenated blood? So oxygenated blood is just a blood which is having the oxygen. Uh, where deoxygenated blood is just a what? It's just a blood which is having what? Carbon dioxide. So if you see the structure of the heart and I've labeled there the right side of the heart as well as the left side of the heart. So the right side of the heart is receiving deoxygenated blood, the blood which is having carbon dioxide, while left side is the one which is receiving oxygenated blood. Okay, so we have here I've got oxygen. Okay, here I've got what? Carbon dioxide. Okay, so we have got in this vein. We have got this part which is part A. This part is the one which is moving from the body all the way up to what? Up to the heart. Is collecting the blood, having carbon dioxide, returning that blood to the what? To the heart. So this part A is called the vena cava. Okay, it is called the vena cava. Then when blood enters here, this part is what? This part is the atria. So this is just atrium. It's right atrium, right atrium, atrium. Okay, so right atrium. When blood comes here, there is a valve here. This valve is called a tricuspid valve. It is called tricuspid valve. Why it is called a tricuspid valve, you understand later because it has got a three leaflets. Then when blood comes here, when the blood comes this part, you know that this part we want the blood, we want to oxygenate that blood. We want that blood to have oxygen. So that blood has to be pumped all the way up to where? Up to the lungs that side. So it will pass through this valve. There is a valve here. This valve is called pulmonary valve. And since it is called pulmonary valve, meaning the blood is passing from right ventricle all the way to what? To lungs via what? Pulmonary artery. So this is an artery which is here. Labeled B is what? Is pulmonary artery. So we can just label there to say. Okay, let me just create the board here. Okay, so I've got B is a pulmonary artery. Okay, then we have this one we say this vena cava because it's the one which is returning the blood from the what? From the rest of the body to the what? To the heart. So A is what? Vena cava. Okay. Then we've got on the left side. On the left side, we have got this part. As you can see, this part D. Here you'll be able to see the direction of the what? Of the valve here. Okay. Just looking at the valve here, you'll be able to say, okay, the blood is coming from here all the way up to this side. So this is what? This part is called left atrium. This part, left atrium. Okay. So the blood will come from the lungs because the blood which is coming from the lungs, it is having oxygen. Therefore, it has to be returned to what? To the heart. It will be returned back to the heart via what? Pulmonary vein. So this D, it is what? Pulmonary vein. Okay. So D, pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein is the only vein which is carrying what? Oxygenated blood in the body. Okay, it's the only vein which is carrying oxygenated blood in the body. So when the blood comes here in the left atrium, this part, it has to come here. It has to come to the what? To the left ventricle. This valve which is here, this valve is called bicuspid or mitral valve. It is called bicuspid or mitral valve. This spelling, which is mitral valve, mitral valve. So this one is the same as mitral valve. So if you name it, say mitral valve, bicuspid, you simply mean the same. So when the blood comes here in the left ventricle, it has to be pumped to the what? To the rest of the body now. So it will come here all the way up to this side, all the way up to the rest of the body. Via what? Via the aorta. It will be pumped back to the rest of the body via what? Via aorta. Meaning C will be what? C will be aorta. Aorta. That's all. Nothing else. Okay? Nothing else. So the question is, let's check the question. I don't know what's the question. Okay, so the question we've answered, the question was asking us to what? To label the part which is carrying oxygen back to the what? To the heart. So the question was saying, the following diagram shows a human heart. Which blood vessel is a vein carrying oxygenated blood? Okay, oxygenated blood vessel, you can say we have got this one. This one is carrying vein. Vein. So the vein which is here, D. So the answer is what? The final answer is D. Hope you've gotten something from there. All right, let's go to the next question. So the next question is saying, figure 3.1 shows a section through the heart. Figure 3.1 shows a section through the heart. Still more, we are doing the same things. So I've got part H there. We've got part H here, part I, J, K, as well as the G there. So the first question is saying, Roman numeral question A, Roman numeral 1, which is saying, from figure 3.1, identify the two blood vessels labeled G as well as I. So you're able to say, okay, G, we said this is your what? This is your right side. Okay? This is your right side. This is your what? Your left side. Okay? Hopefully you've gotten what we've said there. So now when the blood is coming from the rest of the body, it is returning back to the heart. It will be returned via what? Vena cava. So G is called vena cava. That's all. Then I've got I. I is, we said, when the blood enters here on the what? On the left atrium, then all the way to left ventricle, it has to be pumped here all the way to what? To the rest of the body. Okay? Via what? When the blood is returning from the heart, from the lungs to the what? To the heart, it has to be pumped through what? Pulmonary vein. Okay? The blood comes back to your heart from the lungs via what? Pulmonary vein. Then when the blood is pumped going to the rest of the body, it goes via what? It goes via aorta. So this one will be able to say, okay, this is from here all the way up this side. This is your what? Your aorta. Okay? And here you'll be able to say, okay, here we have got the mitral valve. Here we've got tricuspid, because mitral valve is the same as bicuspid valve. Okay, so meaning part I is what? Because the one which is pumping blood from the one which is carrying blood from the what? From the heart to the rest of the body. So part I will be what? Part I is close to what? Aorta. Okay. So I've answered there. So say G. We said G. G is vena cava. Vena cava. And in I is what? Aorta. Aorta. Till done. From there, we've got the next question, which is saying, which of the labeled blood vessels carry oxygenated blood back to the heart? Here I said back to the heart. Back to the heart, meaning the blood is coming from where? From the lungs after oxygenation. After oxygenation, the blood will come back to the what? To the heart. Through what? Through pulmonary vein. So here J is what? Pulmonary vein. We've discussed this one. We're just repeating. So pulmonary what? Pulmonary vein. So here, which is J. Sorry, J. Okay. Then we have got question 3, which is saying identify valve K and state its function. So valve K, this valve is just an aortic valve. It's just an aortic valve. This valve K, as well as the one which is here, we said pulmonary valve and valve K. They are called semilunar valve, but separately, K is called an aortic valve. Okay, it's called an aortic valve. So K is an aortic valve. So just say aortic valve. All right. What is the function? Okay, let's go back to the diagram. When the blood comes here, okay, it has to be pumped to the rest of the what? To the rest of the body. Now, this valve, it will open due to the pressure in the what? In the ventricles, in the left ventricle. When the pressure increases in the what? In the left ventricle here, when the pressure increases, this valve will open. Okay, so it will allow the blood to flow to the rest of the what? To the rest of the body. Okay, now when the pressure increases here in the aorta, and the pressure reduces here in the ventricle, the blood will need to flow back to what? To the ventricles. Okay, so since we have that valve, which is a mitral valve, aortic valve, is the one which is preventing the backflow of what? Of the blood. That's all. It prevents the backflow of what? Of blood. So we say it prevents backflow of blood to the heart. That's all. So the last question is saying, describe the movement of blood from the time it enters the heart at J until it exits at I. At J, let's go back to the question. So at J, so here I've got J, which is what? Which is the which is J is just a pulmonary vein. And I, we said I is just an iota. So how are we going to describe? Very easy. It's not something weird. Okay? Say, when blood enters, so when blood enters through through party J. If you want to be specific, you can even just indicate because now that you know to say part J is pulmonary vein, you can just indicate say when blood enters through pulmonary vein, it enters where it goes to what? It goes to the what? To the left atrium. Okay? Left atrium. Okay, so atrium is just a singular. When there are two, we say atria. Okay? And so when it goes to the what? To the left atrium, then it goes to the left ventricle. Okay? Ventricle. And finally, to the rest of the body via aorta. That's all. 2 marks. You have 2 marks. You have 2 marks. 2 marks free. Okay. I'm sure you've seen there, guys. Let's go to the next question. Okay. So the next question is saying explain the causes of coronary heart disease. Explain the causes of coronary heart disease. What is coronary heart disease? So when you're answering the questions that are coming from the essays or section C there, what you should do is, the first thing that you're supposed to do is to define the subject. In this case, what is the subject? The subject is coronary heart disease. Okay? So the subject is coronary heart disease. Now, how do we define coronary heart disease? Coronary heart disease is just a blockage of what? Of the coronary arteries in the what? In the heart. Okay? Oh, okay. Or just say, okay, it's just a blockage of what? Of coronary arteries. That's all. It's the blockage of coronary arteries. Now, what happens when the coronary artery is blocked? You'll find that since the coronary arteries, they are the ones that are carrying blood with oxygen towards the heart. Now, if these arteries are blocked, Do you think that blood will flow to the heart? No. The answer is no. Okay. So someone will be suffering in a condition whereby the person will have insufficiency of what? Insufficiency of oxygen. Okay. So coronary heart disease is defined to say it's just a blockage of coronary arteries. Now, what are the causes? One is smoking. Smoking. Okay. I'm sure you guys have seen there are those people who are smoking too much. When someone is smoking too much, you'll find that if you observe nicely on the hill, you find that they are having sweat. That is due to what? That is due to cholesterol. Those are fats. When someone smokes too much, they are trying to they are accumulating what? They are accumulating the fats. Okay. So the other one is high BP, high blood pressure. That is another high. That is another reason. Okay. What else? High cholesterol. We've said these are fats. High cholesterol. High cholesterol. Cholesterol. Okay. High cholesterol. Sorry. High cholesterol. Okay. What else? The diabetes. Diabetes. What is diabetes? Just a high sugar level. Okay. High sugar level. And then the last one we can say, maybe we can just add the other one, which is obesity. Obesity. So how do we write essay question? You just have to define the what? You just have to define the subject, which is coronary heart disease. Okay. Then expand these things. Just explain these points. Explain. Okay. Then the other one we say discuss how coronary heart disease can be prevented. You've seen here. You've seen. Okay. So that is the Roman numeral number 2. So 2. Avoid the smoking. Avoid the smoking. Avoid the smoking. Okay. What else? Exercise. Okay. Exercise. Because obesity is due to lack of exercise. Okay. Exercise. Regular. Okay. What else? Avoid eating foods rich in cholesterol. Okay. Avoid. What else? Avoid. Avoid eating food rich in fats or cholesterol. Fats, because they are the same, those things. Okay. Fats. They will block your what? Your arteries. What else? There are a lot. We can just add. Okay. So just for us to get that 2 marks, just get 2 of these, or just add for the sake of practice. Then we have got another question which is saying describe the functions of the lymph nodes in disease prevention. So lymph nodes. Okay, let me just get this space here, which is B. So B. So lymph nodes, the function of the lymph nodes is just immune cell activation. When you are exposed to a certain disease or when your body is affected, you find that lymph nodes will activate those cells that are involved in what? In the defense. Okay? Lymph nodes will activate those cells that are involved in defense. So one, we said immune cell activation. Okay, can proceed from there. And then we've got another one. Okay, let me just finish in case of cases. Activation. Okay, then the other one is destroying abnormal cells. There are those cells that are abnormal, those cells that are immatured. Okay, it destroys abnormal, destroying also abnormal cells. What else? It filters the fluid. Okay, fluid filtration. Fluid. What do we mean? So when the body drains your what? Your fluid, you find that I mean when the body releases those fluids are the what? Are the ones those fluids contains a lot of bacteria, germs, those things that can affect your body. So a lymph node is the one which is filtering those fluid, making sure that there are no germs that can affect your what? Your body. What else? So it also prevent it also involved in prevention of what? Of systemic split. Okay, so you can say prevention of systemic fluid, preventing systemic fluid, preventing systemic fluid. Systemic fluid. Oh, sorry. Systemic fluid. Systemic split. Sorry. Okay, I'm sure that's so on this part. We've tackled a lot of things from there. Okay, so be able to just pick, or maybe just pick two of them. So I've just added those things just for the sake of your revision. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Let's answer the last one, which is saying describe the internal structure of the heart. Describe the internal structure of the heart. So a heart is like a pump which distributes the blood to the rest of your what? To the rest of your body. Okay, it's just a pump which distributes the blood to the rest of your what? To the rest of your body. Okay, so when describing the what? When describing the structure of the heart, you have to include those four valves, okay, which is a mitral valve. It is also known as a bicuspid valve. We have got tricuspid valve. We have got pulmonary valve, as well as in aortic valve. Okay, so let me just draw just rough the structure of the heart here. So if you have got, if this is your heart, let me just draw something lovely here. If this is your heart, there is this part which is dividing those two things. Okay, this part, okay. So here we have got another okay, so what would okay, let me just redraw this. So here, okay, so I've got that part. Okay, so I've got this part and that part. Okay, and then I've got this part and I've got this part which is coming here. Okay, this muscular layer which is in between. And then I've got those valves that are here. Okay, this valve. So this layer, this part which is there, which is dividing left heart as well as right heart, is called septum. Septum. It is called what? Septum. Okay. So maybe let me just go back to the diagram. Let's go back to the diagram so that we just use the same diagram. Okay, so I've got this diagram. What I was trying to say is we have got this muscular layer which is here, this part, this muscular layer. This part is called the septum. Okay, septum. Okay, one. Then we have got this part, this side is called the it is called the left atrium, and it receives the what? The blood containing oxygen. And then this one, it acts as a receiver. Okay, it receives the blood from the lungs after oxygenation. And then it squeezes the blood, and the blood will be transported to what? To the left ventricle. So this part is what? It's just a left ventricle. Okay, it is left ventricle, and this one, it pumps the blood to the what? Towards the what? To the rest of the body. Now the blood, once it has been pumped to the rest of the body, it will go through what? It will go through the aorta. Okay, it will go through the aorta, and it will pass this valve which we will discuss already to say is what? Is an aortic valve. And then here we have got this part. This part is called just right atrium. Okay, and here down here is what? Is right ventricle. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is this: when trying to describe, what you do is this: include this muscular layer which is here, which is in between here. You have to explain, okay, what is the function of this muscular layer. The function of this muscular layer is to divide the heart from left, from the what? From the right heart. One. And then we have got in here, we said we have got on part G here, this is vena cava. So we said here, after vena cava here, this is what? This is your right atrium. What is the function of the atrium? The function of the right atrium is to receive the blood, or to receive the deoxygenated blood from the rest of the what? From the rest of the body. Okay, and then it transports that blood to the what? To the right ventricle. The same right ventricle, it will contract and push the blood towards the what? Towards the heart. So when blood comes here, it will be pushed all the way towards the what? To the lungs there. Okay, and then when the blood has been oxygenated, it will come back. It will come back all the way to where? It will come back to the left ventricle via pulmonary vein. We've discussed that already. So when the blood comes here, then it will go this side, and then it will be pumped to the rest of the what? To the rest of the body. Hopefully it makes sense. And if you're able to see, you find that we have got this muscle here, this muscle, which is here, okay, and the muscle which is this side. Okay, you'll be able to see the difference. The muscle which is here on the left ventricle, it is thicker than the muscle of the what of the right ventricle. Now, what's the difference, or what's the reason there? The reason is simple. This blood, the left ventricle receives the blood which is having oxygen from the what? From the lungs, and is the one which is pumping the what? Pumping the blood at high pressure towards the what? Towards the heart. So for it to pump the blood towards the rest of the body, meaning it has to pump blood at high pressure, okay, so that the blood can be distributed to the rest of the what? To the rest of the body. So the reason is just it because it pumps blood at high pressure. Hopefully it makes sense there. Okay, let's go back to our question. So here, second question is the one that we are from what? We're from answering there, which is discuss how coronary heart disease can be prevented. So they are just repeating these questions. And the last one is describe the function of the lymph nodes in the vessels. So those are just the same questions. Okay, so here explain the causes of coronary heart disease. Just the same 3 marks. Just pick 3 points. Explain ways of preventing coronary heart disease. We've already talked about these things. All right, I'm sure we'll end here for today. And then we see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. Thank you.